This is the last pick I would have expected. Okay, well, here we are. Game number 3 in a best of 5 in round 2 of the Hidden Cup 4 qualifiers. And Lix has picked Indians. Did he misclick? Did he mean to pick Incas? I mean, he drafted Indians. Does he have a strategy prepared here? I am really confused by this. Huh. But anyways, it looks like the shape of the island's a little bit different here. Fun fact, though, is that the wood count should be the exact same on our version of islands. No longer are the days where one person has like 5,000 more wood. It was a thing in the past on islands. We've been able to script it so the exact amount of trees is the same on each island. That should be the case anyways. I'm not going to count. Miguel is playing as Portuguese, the Civ, which is top 5 on islands. Considering Japanese, Italians, and Vikings were banned out during the draft, Portuguese might even be the best water Civ remaining, at least based on what people think. Why are they switching colors on us, man? What the... Like, I'm sorry, guys, but I can't actually switch colors in-game and have that work for Capture Age, so... I'm going to have to talk to Ropo about asking players to stick with their colors consistently between each series. Obviously, for the main event, this won't happen, but... I'm just wondering what Indians can do to remain competitive against Portuguese. So, I actually don't know much about the Indian water tech tree. The one thing I think that could be helpful here is the fact their villagers are cheaper. But, I mean, they do get Bracer and Chemistry. Do they get Galleon, chat? I think they do get Galleon. They should get Fireship. I mean, they don't have any real bonuses on water, but they do have the options on water, I suppose. But it's Lix. When Lix was playing with Japanese, he went for back dock, and then he went for a transport ship, kind of like he did in the 2v2 World Cup. And maybe this is too soon, but Miguel might have some bad memories of that tournament because it was the semifinals. It was Brazil A against China A, and China destroyed Brazil, and Lix just had a masterclass performance. And Lix moved on to the finals. Everyone was like, oh, well, it's Viper and MBL. Viper and MBL will be able to take care of Lix and Yo. And guess what? That didn't happen either. Lix and Yo just dominated. So, Lix would be a really fun player to have in Hidden Cup. Let's be honest. I don't think that Lix has the potential to make it all the way because there's so many big players. And there's only going to be 16 names. But I genuinely think that if Lix was in Hidden Cup, anytime we'd see a forward, anytime we'd see a weird Civ pick, we'd just be like, Lix, 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 trying to guess who was who there. Interesting build order. So he's gone for the back dock. I think we might see a transport. The thought process with the back dock is so if the enemy goes for water control, your fishing ships have a bit more life in them. Azure Sentry says, I think Lix can qualify. Well, remember, Hidden Cup 3, best of 7 decider was Lix and Backed. Lix was up 3-1, and then Bax came back to beat him 4-3. So, Lix was close for Hidden Cup 3. And Big Al says, why is Islands so boring, question mark? If you think Islands is boring, you're clearly not looking enough at the games, all right? So I'm going to actually try and break this down. I don't mean that to be offensive. I'm not saying Islands is my favorite map, but there's so much potential. Let's talk about the strategies that we've seen on Islands so far. We've seen Portuguese Vitorias. We've seen landings. We've seen fire galleys. We've seen war galley opening. We've seen transport combined with winning water. We've seen... I even saw a game where someone was using... Actually, that was another tournament. The point is that Islands has a lot of diversity, and I think the cool thing about Islands is that it's very snowbally. Now, the important thing in Hidden Cup... Yeah, the 3 archery ranges, see? The important thing in Hidden Cup is that we have diversity of maps, because some players prefer to play on water maps, some people prefer to play on hybrid maps, some people prefer to play on land maps. So, as Lix is going to run forward here, and he's going to transport, if the main event of Hidden Cup rolls around, and Lix is one of the 16 players, and we see a backdock transport, Lix confirmed. If Hidden Cup rolls around and Miguel is one of the players, and we see someone pick Islands as a home map, Miguel confirmed. So it makes it very fun when trying to guess what the strategies might be. So Miguel's going front dock, and I'm not so certain that front docking and going full fires is always the meta. when Lix is out and about. Okay. Here comes the transport ship. It's a shame for Lix, really. I'm sure he'd love to be able to make archers out of the ranges, but he doesn't have that potential. Here comes Lix. Now, he's going to make a barracks. He's probably going to make a stable. It makes sense to do something other than fight for water against a civ that's going to have bonuses on water. Miguel, or Lix, don't kill that sheep. Thank you. Let's look at Miguel's base. Miguel's got everything on wood, everything on gold. He does not know the enemy is here. His scout is over here. Okay. I think he might have an idea. Certainly, Miguel will know Lix's reputation. So Miguel has a villager making an outpost, and now Lix is going to pounce on this. Okay, so on the bright side for Miguel, at least Miguel's aware that the enemy is here. So now he needs to change his game plan. So this is typically what you do. I'm not saying it's easy, but Miguel brings over his scout. There's a spearman now. Miguel needs to react by making a barracks. Okay, so the enemy's not going to fight for water control. The fire galleys you do have, or the galleys in this case, need to find the enemy fishing ships. And then with whatever wood you have, you need to make fishing ships to gain an eco lead, because the enemy's not going to be able to take out your fishing ships. That's what the defender normally has to do. But the problem is, I think Lix is going to make fires here. Like, or one fire and could maybe defend anyways. We'll see. But this is so typical for Lix, right? He loves to make games messy. He's fighting with a spearman, scout, and villager. And he's making an archer range over here, of all places, which denies Miguel's wall off. So we have scouts running around. Soon we'll have archers. He's going to drop a tower behind the gold. And suddenly Miguel has this... He made this defensive tower thinking he could wall here and then defend the gold. But I don't think he's going to be able to take gold comfortably in a moment if that tower goes up. Really is stressful to face up against Lix, especially on islands. He picked Indians of all civilizations here. But again, what Miguel should be doing with his additional wood is adding fishing ships in this spot. But he was able to find Lix's fishing ships, and Lix is just going to sail away. It would be such a Lix move to build a dock on Miguel's island and fish in the backside. We might even see it in a second, but I could see him docking back here. Good defense so far from Miguel. I mean, not perfect, right? But seems to know the situation. He is now off of gold, unfortunately. There's another gold over here he could take, so not the end of the world. I think the key when facing up against Lix, though, is just keeping those... killing those villagers. Because Lix is going to want to keep them on your island, and then Lix will make it to Castle Age, make a bunch of monks and siege. Man, I'm really not awake this morning. T90, should Miguel have immediately counterattacked with 5 to 10 villagers to shut it down? No, wouldn't have worked. Lix would wall his villagers in, and then he'd have scouts. So it's really hard to know what to do here. And I think Miguel's stressing out. Villager here. T90, there's a static noise coming from your mic when you're not topping. Yeah, it's my stream today. I don't know what the issue is. It's actually my PC, so... I was late to starting the stream this morning because I got the times wrong.
Hola.
And Miguel, yeah, Miguel's clearly stressing out. He just sent that weak villager back to work. If you're hearing that, I can only apologize today. We'll fix it in the future. I've had some people say they hear it, and some people say they don't hear it, so only so much I can do. So Lix his skirms to counter the spears, but now he lost the scouts. Look, he's going to fish off the enemy's island. I told you he would do this. He's going to fish at the enemy's island. And the fishing ships were saved, so he's going to loop them around. If he can find fishing... Yeah, there we go. If he can find some fishing over here, he'll be okay. Meanwhile, Miguel's like, I did it. I did it, Mom. He can't fish. And a front dock from Lix. Lix is going to switch onto water with some fire galleys. This is fascinating, man. This is a fascinating way to play it. It's not full-on on land. It's starting off with land, making Miguel go into towers and all types of defense, and then switching back onto water. Miguel does have fishing ships for now. And if you look at Miguel's point of view, he might kind of have an idea that there's something back here, so he's going to loop his galleys around. But look at the resources for Lix right now. Lix has 500 food in the bank. If Lix is able to get to Castle Age faster, he could just completely win water. Or he could go for Crossbowman and Siege, or maybe even some Camels with Indians. I mean, Indians is not a civ you typically think is going to go for water. But great awareness from Miguel to check, because he hadn't taken out those 3 fishing ships. This is the only place that would make sense. Assuming he notices that, and he does now, that's a good move. But Lix already has a fire galley on the way, so Lix will be able to defend that. Here comes Lix with the 1 archer and 4 skirmishers. There's towers everywhere. He doesn't really seem to care, and Lix is definitely going to be up to Castle Age faster. Miguel needs a market yesterday. Miguel needs to drop a market, and with that market, he needs to buy some food to get up to Castle Age, because there goes Lix. Lix is going to make another stable. Okay. Lix still trying to keep the fishing ships alive. Good micro from Miguel here. Look, he pulls this one away. Is using this galley to attack the fishing ships. Doing everything he can. In the end, though, I think most of the fishing ships will be alive. And the big thing is, Lix has added farms, man. Is fish overrated? It's so crazy. If you think back to how Cross was played as well, Lix just started adding farms early. I mean, he did take ponds there, to be fair. But you annoy the enemy, you let them have the fishing ships, but then you take their land, redock and win water, and then you're still on land. I mean, it's really confusing to deal with. And honestly, I think Miguel might consider tapping out. He shouldn't tap out right away, but if it was a rated game, he might start thinking of tapping out right when he sees the enemies this much faster to Castle Age. He still hasn't clicked up yet. This is awesome. The Silky Texas, thank you for the Prime sub. Guys, I honestly don't have a lot of energy this morning, so I have decided that I'm not going to be able to get to all the names with the resubs. There's been a lot, and a lot of people showed up this morning. Thank you, and I'm honestly just kind of... I got the time wrong this morning. I'm still in my freaking boxers, man. I just rolled out of bed to cast games, so I'm in a rough spot when it comes to multitasking here. So there's 3 stables over here. But he's going to use these 2 and get the War Galley upgrade. See, I think prioritizing the War Galley upgrade is huge because you need to still pressure on water with fires. And if you can do that, then Miguel's going to try and make more on water himself. And as he's making more on water, then the camels are going to show up. But imagine if he was a night civ. If he was any other civ, guys. Camels are not a great raiding unit. But for Lix, he doesn't care. And Lix is finding reward with the camel raids. Alright. He killed 1 villager. I mean, right now, the big problem for Miguel is he cannot take gold. Lix has been able to see all the gold. Lix is making a monastery right next to Miguel's wood line. If you can't take gold, you're definitely not going to be able to control water. And here come the fires. And this is why I said, it really feels like Miguel is about to be completely overrun, but he is making some fires of his own. I have no clue why Lix would ever pick Indians for this. Maybe because of the cheaper villagers? I think everyone here is still wondering why you would ever pick Indians to do this strategy. Maybe it's just the civ that he had left over, but how can you argue with these results? Look at this! He has Miguel surrounded. Monastery, stables, blacksmith, siege workshop. And Miguel's going to drop a castle over here. And I suppose with that castle, it will protect this area, protect the wood line, and give him his gold back. What a crazy game, though. What a crazy player this Lix guy is. This is so fun to watch. I've genuinely never seen islands played effectively with Indians. And I don't know if we ever should again. Even if Lix wins this, I still don't see any reason that Indians is the go-to for this, but my god, Lix, he lost game number 1. And game number 1, he was trying to wall a lot. And then game 2 and game 3, he's just stuck to his roots. He decided to be aggressive and make it awkward. And Azure Sentry, I kind of agree with that sentiment. I think that this is why a lot of people want Lix to qualify. He's such a fun player to watch. And the thing is, you can prepare for Lix to play awkward against you in the qualifier because you know who is who. But if Lix makes it to the main event, you can't prepare for that. You have no clue who you're going to be facing up against. It'd be very hard to guess, of course, and even if you figure it out, you might already be down a few games. My God, dude. 37 eco. I mean, it seems doable for Miguel because he hasn't completely lost on water. But Miguel does not have the food eco right now to do much. He cannot get the ship upgrade. I think the organ guns can probably clear up siege and probably clear up camels. But what I expect to happen is for Lix to boom. Yep, there's the second TC. So Lix is just going to boom up on lands and gain a massive field lead and then try and control water now. Earlier uptime is OP on water maps, so that's maybe why he went Indians. But why not go Mongols then? Mongols get knights. Mongols could have a faster uptime. Oh my God! Miguel's going to transport organ guns! Miguel is going to transport organ guns. This is a smart move. If he can get it over there, Lix doesn't have any defense because Lix has all of his buildings at Miguel's base. Miguel's like, okay, bro. You want to build your buildings at my base? Well, get ready for some organs. Transporting organ guns. Another thing I didn't expect to see today. Miguel, wrong island, my friend. Yeah, avoid that one. Yep. He's thinking about it. Learn from my mistakes. Okay. Here come the organ guns. And organ guns also do a pretty good job at dealing with the camels and any monks and any siege. So I think Miguel realistically could stay alive quite some time here. And Lix was not able to focus fully on water, so there's still some fires out there for Miguel. Miguel snipes one villager. That was smart thinking, because I don't think Lix knew this was coming. So he sniped the farmer. He's sniping the villagers that are freebies now, but you could take the farmers first and then get these villagers, and Lix just now reacts. Miguel must be distracted with something else, because he could have killed more there, but giving himself a real shot. Now, suddenly, the idle time's off the charts for Lix. What will Lix do against organ guns? What do Indians do against organ guns? Do they get redemption? Does anyone know if Indians get redemption? More villagers going down. Man, this is so messy. Okay, if you get redemption, you could go for redemption monks. But even then, it's such a heavy gold investment to deal with organ guns. And then there's going to be more organ guns. And then there could be... Like, Miguel's got a lot on wood and a lot on gold right now, so... It still doesn't solve your potential problems on water. All Miguel's really doing is spamming organ guns out of castles, and he's going to probably spam ships out of his docks. But he still has not gotten that war galley upgrade. Okay, there's the redemption upgrade for Lix. But so many villas have gone down here. I mean, on both sides, it's just at this stage, it's fascinating. This group of organ guns might be tempted to join up with the main force. Oh boy! Here comes the transport ship. Okay. Now, the monastery is also right here, which makes it even more awkward. After completing the redemption upgrade, you can convert enemy siege and buildings. And organ guns are classified as siege. But, like, it's 400 some gold to get that upgrade, and then it's 100 gold a monk. And then there's still going to be more organ guns here. It doesn't feel like the most realistic option, but maybe it's your best option. Transport ship is in the middle of the map right now. We have a Mangonel from Lix. And Lix, with the camels and Mangonel, will take out these organ guns. Miguel would have had the numbers to deal with this, but he's going out for the offensive. And now he's getting hit by the Mangonel on his woodline, and he needs to back away. What a messy game. The transport's showing up now. I would love to see Miguel transport villagers and castle drop Lix. How amazing would that be? Lix still has some monks inside of that monastery, and he has not brought them out yet. Lix saving up the stone for a castle as well, and it brings up an excellent point. Which island should he castle drop? Should he castle drop? Like, I feel like I would probably castle my own island to keep myself safe, but it's Lix, so he would probably castle drop here, you know? I don't know. He also doesn't have that many villas at Miguel's island, which is a problem. And, okay, the monks were able to somehow make it around this way. And, okay, well, Lix realized that the RNG gods were not going to be with him and actually saved the monk. And gets the conversion much faster that time for some reason. Yeah, don't try and explain that one. Just monk things. But look at the idle time for Lix currently. And Lix is going to make a town center at Miguel's island? Well, honestly, it's probably the play. It looks like more villagers were transported over here. It's probably the play. You get more villagers on that side, then you can drop a castle, I guess. What in the world is this game right now? And it looks like Lix is going to be able to deal with this transport. Lix will get a convert, or should. Some fire ships for Miguel. Finally upgraded those. Miguel's still only 4 on food. Camels will do just enough. I think that those camels were transported over here too, guys. Probably this transport was used because I don't see how he would get the camels here otherwise. He doesn't have a stable. Oh, no, he made a stable. I lied. Okay. Well, Lix still has the monks here. So, one way or another, he's going to have to get rid of this. And he could convert the fires, too. So, whether he converts the organ guns or the fires, I don't think he's going to care too much. And Miguel losing those. Miguel now worried about his base. So, it looked like Miguel had a chance, but another game where he hasn't been able to get his food eco right. And another game where Lix just makes it awkward. Okay, this is where Lix is going to drop a castle now. Lix is definitely going to drop a castle on this side. But wait a second. Miguel's going to do it to Lix! Oh, boy! Oh, my God. They might actually see each other with the transport ships. This is what Lix can see. All right. Hey, wait a second. He wants to send his camels over, just as Miguel wants to send the villagers over. What the? Oh, my God. Okay, will that monk spot things? Monk's getting the relics, so no. There's only a few villagers there. We might see another batch of villagers transported. Maganel hops out for Lix. Miguel microing nicely. The Maganel goes down. Here we have some more galleys for Miguel. Miguel doesn't even have fletching, though, so I doubt that's going to work. And Miguel has now been spotted. So these villagers are probably either going to get converted or they're going to die. I think so, anyways. I think Lix should convert the war galleys. He's very distracted, though, so it's understandable that he might not do so. He converts one of them, has the fire here. Miguel's villagers have just been transported over here to die. And is this GG? Is Lix about to take game 3 from Miguel? He's got the Vill lead. He's got the control. Miguel doesn't have any control on Lix's island. It's not impossible to think that Lix might even be able to deal with these organs and then drop a castle here. He's winning with Indians. This should not be a thing. Miguel's trying to get some farm eco rolling. He's trying to get fires out on water. That's something that I think Lix could even do a better job with, is getting the fires on water. Because then you can just transport all day. Repairing this here. Just trying to keep the villagers there, but honestly, you could maybe give up on them. Make fire galleys, and then you can transport whatever villagers you want. There's the TC for Miguel. Honestly, at this point, I think Miguel needs to be dropping a castle here. I think he realizes he's way behind, so he's considering dropping a castle forward eventually, but... Alright, there's the transport. Miguel reacts to this. Loses 2 organs so far. Loses 2 to conversions. The Maganel's still there. Oh my God, what a play from Lix, and there's more camels! There's more camels! Camels don't counter organ guns. But Lix counters the normal, and Lix is now going to drop a castle right on the town center. This is unbelievable play from Lix. But the thing is, with Lix, it's believable. Any other player, I should be saying it's unbelievable. With Lix, it's believable. This is just how Lix likes to play the game. This is game over. You can't take that gold anymore, Miguel. He's lost so many organ guns. They're not the cheapest unit in the game. The economy at home for Lix is safe and untouched. I don't see how there's real... I mean, maybe Miguel could still win water. And then maybe with that, Miguel could transport organ guns. But his economy's awful. He's getting raided by camels. He can't take half of his island. New meta is to pick islands. Pick islands. Pick Indians on islands. And then transport. Now, guys, Lix is using the market. Lix has clicked up to the Imperial Age, so pretty soon this castle could make trebuchets. Lix is also going to take Miguel's relic and put it in a monastery on Miguel's land. Lix has 3 relics in this game. I think another reason that many people are big fans of Licks is because some high-level players can delay getting relics, and Licks never does. Be funny if he gets the one in the middle out there, but this has got to be over. And as someone who's pretty close to Miguel, I think I have to worry for his mindset right now. You know, you win game number 1, then game number 2 you lose, and whatever, game number 2 it happens. But then to lose game number 3, knowing you should have the better civilization based on what you think based on how you think islands should be played anyways. And then not only that, but you lose by being transported like this. I mean, that's going to be tough to come back from mentally, and it could tilt you. I remember it was Hidden Cup 2's qualifier. It was a best of 5 decider, if I'm not mistaken. It was not a best of 7 back then. And Miguel went down to the final game against Jordan. It was a while ago now. Jordan ended up winning that to make it into Hidden Cup 2. But like, Miguel's no stranger to the pressure. He's going to have to respond to this. I'm already calling it because this game is just over. I mean, Miguel has to call it when he sees that Licks is in the Imperial Age. There's no other choice. I mean, of course there is a choice. You could play on, but play on for what? Everything will get trebbed down pretty soon. Whew. Oh my god. Okay, Miguel has transported Vils and he's castle dropping Licks. I mean, that's an option. That's an option. Okay, you can maybe take this stone away from him and pressure with organ guns. But yeah, Miguel sees the score, so probably realizes that he's way behind economically. He knows that Licks has 2 forward castles on his base. He sees that Licks is an imp. Licks is a special, special player, guys. Miguel now needs to react to this, and I'm just like, if I were in Miguel's shoes, I would probably take a few minutes, go get a glass of water, and just walk around my place a bit, because I would be relatively tilted by that. And it's not tilted by what Licks did, necessarily. That can definitely play a part, but it might just be self-frustration, and you have to be able to get past the frustration with yourself losing this game and just think, let's move on, and let's talk about the next one. Because if Miguel loses the next one, he will not be moving on in the Hidden Cup 4 qualifiers, which would be an upset. I have him moving on to go to the best of 7 decider